go on the other side of the diaspora, which is the Middle East, which is Gulf. And a lot of things have been happening.
Yes.
We cannot just sit and assume that everything is okay.
Everything is
while
not okay.
everything is not. Yeah.
Sure.
The Africans that are in the other diasporas and is in the Gulf are not having it easy. And I think I just wanted us to talk a little about what goes on there. What are we supposed to consider? How can we help the situation?
Yes.
Just so that those that are intending to go to the Gulf
They know where
are aware
going.
of what is happening there. And those are in the Gulf, just become a little bit conscious, alert.
Yes.
Yeah, of what goes on around there.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, for those who are joining us right now, I'm telling you what happens in the UAE. We have heard the stories, and I'm telling you we need to go to the bottom of this. Most of you laugh at these stories, actually, but it's very critical, and so many people are suffering out there. Sarah Kibuja saying, "Are you for real? Where is the money to do all these things?" I don't know where you're asking that, and send me. I am in Gulf. The problem is most of us tukigonjeka hatupeleki hospitali. Unaambiwa ukae kwa room hadi unazidiwa kabisa. So there are so many things that medical that they're not attended in the UAE. Not like here in Germany. There's something else we can discuss about our health here in Germany, health insurances, etc., etc. How you get to work, how they're gonna cater for it, and all that kind of stuff. But how those kind of things are affecting most of the Africans in the UAE. Let me say that.
Yeah.
So in diaspora, there are so many things that are happening out there. We have seen cases whereby people go, they are being beaten, actually, particularly to our fellow women. Actually, I don't know if today we're going to specifically try to talk about women, because I think that's where the problem, much of the problem is. Men, I understand sometimes, but I understand. Myself, I am a testimony. I was in the UAE in the year 2012.
Yeah.
Yes, I was in Qatar. Okay. There's so many things that I could see in that side, and what I'm seeing right now. I can think it's an experience that I had before, and that what I have now. I can see a very big difference being in diaspora and being in Europe, being in Asia.
Yeah.
It's not about money. It's not about money. Because in Asia, a country like Qatar is very rich, like nobody's business.
Yes.
But there's so many things that happen on the ground that you people don't see, you people don't know. First of all, my own experience is when I landed. Do we land or we arrive? Luos don't arrive. They always land.
Yeah.
So when my passport, that was the end of it.
It was confiscated.
Not even confiscated. I never saw it. That is the time you are asked, what is your name? My name is Kanida Richards. Let me see how your name. You give out the passport. That's the end of it. From there, you don't see your passport anymore.
Oh my God.
That's the only first thing that got me out of shock. Right now, as I'm speaking, my passport is at home.
Yeah.
That's the difference now.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when I was there, I'm just speaking of this.
Yeah.
My passport, I saw it at the end at the airport. When I entered the car that I was taking me to where we were going, I don't want to mention here on air. You might come for me. I never saw my passport until I said, now I want to go and visit my mother.
That is when you saw your passport.
That's when I saw my passport. Actually, I saw my passport when I'm entering in the airport, and I saw it when I'm going back home at the airport. So that's a very nice. So there's so many things inside there, but I don't want to talk about Kanida Richards today. Let's go and talk about this.
Yeah, but it is quite interesting for me to to hear that firsthand from someone who was there, because that is also going to help the conversation today. That's see, it. We want to have as many stories as possible from people who have been there, and they can give us a hint or two about what to expect if you are in the Gulf, and why are we hearing this kind of horrifying stories from the Gulf. First of all, what baffles me is the fact that we keep on hearing bad news from the Gulf daily. People die, people come back in coffins, but still every blessed day people are still going to the Gulf. That is where it puzzles me. And maybe we can just break it down and find out exactly why it comes to that point where, in as much as
Yes.
that place is very dangerous.
Why are we going there?
Why are we still going there? You see, and that is something that even us here in Europe,
Yes, yes.
we should also ask ourselves, in as much as we that are here face other things and we give the information at home, it's not really rosy as you think.
No.
There is still that need for people to go out of their country. People want to leave home.
Yes.
People want to go abroad, as they call it.
Yes.
So I was doing some research.
Yes.
And I found out first of all that the Gulf, there are countries that consist of the Gulf. So we have Kuwait, we have Bahrain, we have Saudi Arabia, we have Qatar, and you have United Arab Emirates. Which most of us called Dubai. We use the capital to refer to the whole whole country.
Actually, most of the people don't know that. They only know that Dubai is a country.
Dubai is a country. Actually, Dubai is the capital. Dubai is the economic capital of United Arab Emirates. I think their capital is Abu Dhabi.
That's it.
Yeah. So this conversation today is going to be based on Africans' experience in these countries that I have mentioned.
Yes.
I come from Kenya.
Yes.
So the country that has the most horrifying stories is Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. What happened in Saudi Arabia?
So first of all, I am not aware whether people who come from my country, or Africans as a whole,
Nigeria,
are
Kenya,
aware
Uganda.
that their different countries have different sets of laws.
Yes.
There is the international laws. International laws include things like human rights.
Yes.
So there are countries that most countries follow the international laws. So countries in the EU follow the international laws.
Yes.
The America follows the international laws. The Commonwealth also has international laws as they follow it. Sadly, the Gulf does not use international laws. I don't know whether people are aware of this.
They use their own laws.
They use the Sharia laws. Because most of them are Islam. They are Muslims.
I'm even getting that to myself
and
today.
There are very many, and most of them, I want to have a little exception of United Arab Emirates and Qatar. They might be a bit leaning towards international laws, because these horrifying stories,
they only come from...
You don't hear most of it from Qatar and United Arab Emirates. But a country like Saudi Arabia is 110% based on Sharia laws.
And you can do nothing.
Sharia laws means if you are caught in a criminal act, first of all, there is no consideration that you're a human being.
No.
Human rights is what considers you as a human being, first of all. When they are judging you,
they have to look at
even
you.
If you go to prison, you must eat, you must shower, you must have a comfortable place to sleep. Sharia laws are different. For example, if you're caught with another person's wife, you might be stoned to death. And that is part of the laws. So I don't know whether people who go to the Gulf are aware of this kind of a thing.
I think
especially in Saudi Arabia.
I think that's most of the thing that we always miss as the people who are going there. And I also agree with Thaddeus Modemba, who is saying here, while living for abroad, one should always put his or her mind to neutral. Meaning, never be so ambitious. You have to be calm, because you'll always gonna start from first gear up. Culture shock, work experience should always be a fact to consider. If you are a hard worker, home, you will make it abroad. If you are lazy and a high-end person, don't try. There are gonna be a million reasons to make you cry. Very, very nice.
Oh my God.
Let me go to another thing here before you continue.
Yes.
Mapaseka Ntsele. Hey, Mapaseka Ntsele. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong.
My very good South African girlfriend.
I'm telling you. Thank you so much for commenting.
I love you, Shomi.
Oh, we love you too. I say first, be sure you have qualifications when you come to Middle East in order to have a proper paying job. Very, very correct. Ensure that you're coming to work for a reputable company. Do your research before accepting jobs. For women, ensure you have proper medical checkups from your doctor, because it's not easy to access simple. How do you mention that word? Gynecological checkups.
Gyna checkup.
Gyna checkup. Do not leave home with aim to make a big money without a plan.
Yeah.
Very straightforward.
That is short, covered, and nice.
Yes, very straightforward to the people listening actually out there. And if you're joining us right now, remember we are talking about what happens actually in diaspora, in the UAE.
Yeah.
So many stories, we are listening to them each and every day. We listen to them, they come back home, but the next day, more and more are flying back to the same place.
Yeah.
The government is trying. I don't know which government is trying, but you're going to come there and later and check which government is actually trying, or which government is listening to which government, according to wherever country you come from.
Yeah.
But still, we still see these people going. Let me get back to you.
Yes.
So you were talking about the laws, the Sharias that they have there.
I think that is the first thing that shocked me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That because Saudi Arabia functions on Sharia laws, there are some things that you actually feel you would actually imagine is almost obvious.
Obvious, yeah.
It's not going to be obvious. Yeah, like this thing you're saying, they confiscate your passport.
Yes.
Yeah. In international laws, that one would be like a no-brainer, because you have the right to your own properties.
Yes, you are entitled
and your passport
to your own.
is your property.
That's
you have we here in Europe, you walk everywhere, even with your old passport, you still have it.
You still have it.
When they give you the new one, they still give you the old one to repeat because it is your property.
That's it.
Yeah, that is not the case.
Yes.
But sadly now, women are most affected.
Women.
And the women who are most affected are those that go to work as domestic workers.
Domestic workers, as we always call them here in German, au pair.
In Germany, they have a very beautiful word for it. It's called au pair. But
pair.
ladies and gentlemen, it is the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just
we all
that the
do
name
it
is
too.
twisted. It's like now the house manager and the way you call them in the Swahili one, which I don't like pronouncing anyway. But that's it. House manager, au pair, and
in the Gulf,
yes,
these women that go there to work as domestic workers, they are the ones who suffer the most. In fact, 80% of the deaths that come from the Gulf are from women who are domestic workers.
Yes.
Because in this state you are vulnerable. You are in the four walls belonging to someone else. You do not have your phones with you. You do not have your passports with you. God knows if you came with an agency that is registered, because that is also another factor. Most people will go with an agency that is not registered.
That's it.
Yeah.
So first mistake is the agency.
There's no way it can be followed up. Where are you?
Yes.
Where are you living? Here in Europe, I can tell you for a fact that the Kenyan embassy in Berlin has a list of all the Kenyans who live here.
That's it. That's correct. We have been with the ambassador.
They know how many Kenyans they have.
Yes.
How many Kenyans are living in Berlin? How many in Stuttgart? Who is living where? They are aware.
And they are encouraging people to go and register. If you know you have the government, if you feel that the Kenyan embassy in Berlin doesn't know you, just go to them. They're gonna speak to you.
Why is this important?
Yes.
Because if the Kenyan embassy is aware about where you are, or you are where you are. Let me just say it that way.
Yes.
If anything should happen to you, it is easier for them to access you.
Yes.
Okay? If you go to the Gulf with an agency that is not registered, is not reputable. You know, there are so many quack agencies.
A lot of them.
There are people who are just really mean. They are out for the money. Once they get the money from you and from the owner, whatever happens to you from the airport is none of their business.
Yes.
That is why it is very important for you to know which agency are you using to go to the Gulf, especially if you're going as a domestic worker. Then now, on the other side of our government, what laws are they putting to ensure that your employer respects you as a Kenyan, or as an East African, or as an African,
or as a worker? Just to say that.
Do you know, I have had so many stories where these bosses, these Arab bosses, they will tell these ladies that I bought you. Where do they get that information? What insinuates them to think that they can buy a human being?
Hey,
it's insane. It really is insane.
It's
that
sad.
means the government has not put any laws to this effect.
That's it.
It should be in the contract. The agent that is registered must make you know, as the owner, as the boss, you are employing this person. You're not buying
You're
this
not
person.
buying this person, actually.
You are employing this person, which means this person has a right to her own room. This person has a right to eat properly. The recent lady that came back home
from
Kenya, Diana Chepkemoi,
yes,
the girl was emaciated. She looked like she was going to die the next minute if she didn't get food.
I'm telling you.
I read online as well, there's another lady who said she was only surviving on tea,
water
and
salt
from
water.
the toilet.
Yes, I read that too.
And water from the toilet. So, how bad can it get? So what are our policies as Africans, as an African government?
Yes.
I also read somewhere that they were pushing for the Africans, especially Kenya, or East Africans, because most East Africans are going to the Gulf.
Yes.
They were pushing for the East African governments to ban people from going to the Gulf, especially Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
But the governments could not put a permanent ban. Why? Because they are getting a lot of revenue
and
from people who are living in the Gulf.
Yes.
So the revenue is more important than the life of the citizens. That is the saddest reality, which now rolls the ball back to you as the woman who wants to go as a domestic worker.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to check yourself. First of all, which agency am I using? Secondly, what are my rights? Is my boss aware of my rights?
Yes.
Is he willing to give me my rights? Are the laws in that country going to give me my rights? Because if you're going to Saudi Arabia, you know very well you're not operating on normal laws.
No. It has to change. The things are otherwise. They always say go to Rome and be like the Romans, but going to Saudi Arabia is something else. It doesn't require you to be like the Saudi Arabians, but there are so many things that are required out there. Let me go back to someone here who has said, Leah Wangari. Agents, she's trying to comment on whatever you said. The boss is thinking about buying you from wherever you are coming from.
Yeah.
Leah Wangari says, agents you are to be blamed for they sell girls like products in the market. And the Arab buy workers they don't employ. You see now, they buy workers. So girls are innocent, but the agents are to be questioned.
Yes.
But now before we question these agents, question yourself, like she said here before. Did you consider, is this agency registered? Now, coming to the registering thing, which now I'm telling you what I've seen.
Yeah.
We may be asking ourselves, what are these governments doing to try and ban, maybe, as you have said, the East African was coming out. But now you come to realize the persons who are supposed to pass this law, they are these politicians of ours that we vote to parliament. So any law must be passed in parliament. So you realize that most of the agents that you see outside there, most of the agencies that you see on your streets, wherever you go to apply these jobs, they belong to those people that are in parliament. So I don't think that now this is where the problem comes. This is where now people, most of them, not all of them, not all the leaders do that, but now that's why you see this discussion taking too long, because these guys who are supposed to pass this law are the owners of the agencies that we are seeing out there. So how are they going to close their business? All of this I'm trying to say, then it has to come to bring you as a person who wants to go outside there to do enough research and know, is this the right thing that I'm doing? I know money is a very beautiful thing. Money can do anything. That's why we all may be coming out of Kenya, out of Uganda, out of Nigeria to go out to diaspora for employment and for all that kind of stuff. But we don't first of all think and do our enough research on the agencies that we visit. You know, we sometimes we always say that we need that quick money, but these agencies that always go there, you used to go there. Most of them we don't consider checking them out to know if these things are registered or they are not registered, because I'm very sure there are some that are registered that the government knows. Yes, but most of them they don't.
So, I also just found out, I read somewhere, last year alone, as in from 1st of January 2021 to December 2021, 89 Kenyan girls died.
89 in Saudi Arabia.
89 Kenyan girls died in Saudi Arabia. And those are only women, eh?
Yes.
Men also die.
Men also die.
There are
But
women. There are men who work in companies where they use a lot of chemicals. You know, they don't use gloves.
yes,
You get skin cancer. You die.
that's it. That's it.
I have seen a video of a domestic worker cleaning a pool with chlorine.
Hey,
Chlorine has a pH
Chlorine
of
has-
about 2 or 3. It's very acidic.
which people don't know about that.
On bare feet. So that those feet are going to get rashes. They're going to be irritated. Who knows whether she's going to get wounds?
Of course.
It might be cancerous. You just heard from from one of our audience. There's no proper medical.
There's no
cover-up
problem. Yes.
for you.
And that's the
So-
most important thing that people need.
So now, let us just ask ourselves:
Yes.
are our problems that bad?
Our problems
Are
are.
our because true to God, have you heard of Nigerians in Saudi Arabia? Nigerian girls in Saudi Arabia?
I've not heard of that.
Eh?
I've not heard of that. No, I've not seen a story whereby I watch most of the Nigerian things. Not
Yeah.
that I only watch Afro cinema. Continue
Yeah.
shortly.
Yeah.
But I watch most of the inner stories
Yeah.
of how people are living in Nigeria. Because here in diaspora, you find that friends that we have here are from Nigeria and all that. So you have to find where does he come or she come from. So so many things. But I have not seen that. I have not seen a Nigerian coming from. If there is. Maybe you need to send me a link. Coming from Saudi Arabia to Nigeria.
The population of East Africans that go to the Gulf is higher than any other African country. Where you'll find other African countries is Qatar and the UAE.
The UAE, sure.
Why? Because the laws there are a bit favorable. They are not the best, yeah?
Yes.
But they are a bit favorable. So what pushes us so much until we have to go to anywhere,
That
including the place where you just realize someone came back home dead? And not one person, not two people, 89 in 1 year.
in 1 year. And that's the place you want to prepare to
Do
go
you
to.
want to tell me we are the ones who are suffering the most in the entire continent?
We are not.
Have people gone to South Sudan? Have people gone to Somalia? Have people gone to there are places in Ghana. There are places in Togo
That you
where
can
people
work.
are, you mean there is, there are problems everywhere.
Of course.
But would you rather go somewhere where you come back in a coffin, or you would rather struggle at least but skip your life?
That's it.
Maybe these are just questions that we have to be open with. You just
Sure.
have to decide on your own, yeah? Is it worth it? I know that there is always that urge of nikienda maju, I'm
I
gonna
will
make
try.
it.
Yes.
If I go to the diaspora, it's a bit better than when I'm here. True, there are opportunities outside. But is it worth it? That is the question we
That's
need
the
to
question
ask
we might be
ourselves.
asking today.
Where you are going, are the laws favorable?
Yes.
First of all, even us that are living here in Europe, how do the Arabs treat us? Here where we live, where international laws operate regardless of whether you are a German, you are a citizen, or you are a foreigner, the laws cover all of us.
That's it.
How do they treat us?
Hey.
Here where they know very well that you cannot do the way you want, but still if you sit in a train opposite an Arab person, you feel it.
He's gonna treat you otherwise. He thinks he's at home.
If you are in a position where you're the one serving an Arab client,
Yes.
you will feel it as an African. Or if he or she is the one serving you as an African,
You will feel it.
These are people who have a different opinion about us. You know.
Yes.
So this I am puzzled that we are not aware
Of
as
what is
a
happening.
people that there are sets of human beings that have a different opinion about us.
Sure.
We cannot change how they think about us.
We cannot do that.
But we can demand respect.
Yes.
We can demand respect instead of being treated like an animal. These domestic workers are forced to do God knows what inside the phone.
Most of the things we don't even see them on TV, and most of the people don't come out to tell us. But there are so many things that are hidden out there that are being done to these girls out there that we even don't know. I gave you my example.
This conversation is very sensitive.
A lot.
Some people feel like you don't have the right to tell anybody not to go anywhere to go and make a living. But this is diaspora chronicles.
That's it.
If we do not talk about it, where are we going to talk about
There's
it?
no place you can talk
If we
about
don't tell
it.
you, who is going to tell you? If we don't discuss, who is going to discuss it? Yeah? We are trying to push the narrative of Africans for Africa. That's the narrative we are trying to push. Let us defend ourselves, let us love ourselves, but let us tell ourselves the truth at the same time.
That's it.
If you need to make money, if you need to go outside your boundaries, have a plan, like Mapaseka said.
Have a plan.
Have a plan, do a ground checkup.
That's it.
Find out from which agency you are using. And oh my God, if the country is not even entertaining international laws, human rights,
Yes.
why are you going there?
You know, and nowadays we have social media that explains everything on what is happening around the globe. So I cannot just say that I went there because I did not see her story. But we Africans, I don't know if Sisi ni Vichongumu, I can just use that when we saw this, we want to have that experience ourselves. Because if you see today, we are discussing about this topic, or the government has done, or the media has done a story, and tomorrow there is the plane is full to Saudi Arabia. So you come to think of, before we come to blame the embassy, before we come to blame the government, what have you done as you yourself, the person who's trying to go? As so many people have said here, do your research first before you go out there. Someone is here saying, in God's honest trust, what really is the purpose of any Kenyan embassy anywhere around the world? Before we blame these embassies out there, have you blamed yourself? Because you have seen all these stories before you try to travel to UAE, before you try to travel elsewhere.
Partly, the person who is saying what is the Kenyan embassy doing is right. Partly,
partly is right.
Because the Kenyan embassy acts on behalf of the Kenyan government.
That's it.
Okay, so
and that's the only place you can run and hide.
We need to put laws as a government. For the agencies.
Yes.
For you to have a license to hold an agency where you take people or workers from Kenya to the Gulf, you must have A, B, C, and D.
Yes.
We need your number, we need your license, we need your information. 2, you that is being taken to the Gulf, there must be a contract between you and your employee and the Kenyan embassy at the place where you're going. So, because us, when we come as au pairs, the Kenyan embassy is aware
of where we are going. Yes.
He knows that so and so Nyapia Kinyi is an au pair at family so and so for a duration of this time month. And this time. And when I was an au pair, let me just cut you shortly.
Yes.
When I also came as an au pair.
Okay.
When I was an au pair, I came through an agent. Funny enough, me and Mapaseka used the same agent. That's why we knew each other.
Okay.
All right. The agent at home, the one who connected me to the family here, had a contact with the agent here.
Okay.
So the agent at home looks for us, and the agent here looks for the family.
All right.
Then they connect the two of them.
Yes.
And the agent at home kept on calling our family at regular instances.
To know how you are faring.
To know how I'm doing. Talk to me on the phone, not just asking, because it is easy for you to ask
how is she going.
Say, oh, she's doing fine, she's doing. After conversation with the family I was in, they will give me the phone. She will talk to me in our language
to know how you are faring.
Are you fine?
Yes.
Do we have such?
No, we don't. In Saudi Arabia,
if at all the laws in Saudi Arabia are forbidding this, then really we don't have any business taking those girls there.
Before I read what Mapaseka has written here, a very long story I'm telling you today. I'm gonna read your comment. Let me give you the real example. You mentioned something about the agents trying to know where you are and everything like that. When I went to Qatar, I used an agent. So let me tell you a very real story. They always bring someone to do interviews for you, and they tell you he came all the way from Qatar and came to conduct the interviews that are happening tomorrow at 9 a.m. So the best thing that on this day, I was very new somewhere in Nairobi. We went to Nairobi University somewhere where the interviews were being conducted. And I met so many people there coming from Mombasa and all of other parts of the country. The interview was done, and we were told this guy came all the way from Qatar to Nairobi to do the interviews. So the guy was an Arab, and you know how the Arabs look like, yeah? So everybody could see this is a Muzungu, Arab, white, and all that kind of stuff. So I believed at that particular moment he came from Qatar. He did the interviews, everything, papers and all that, checked everything. So when now the interview was done and we were chosen to go to Qatar, the team now that we were chosen to go to Qatar, we were very few. On the airport, I met someone from Mombasa.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention his name, but I'm very sure he will be watching and he will know this is a real story.
Yeah.
So this guy knew the guy who was doing the interview on that particular day, where he lives in Mombasa, where he stays in Mombasa, what he does in Mombasa. He has never been in Qatar. He has never gone out of the country. But he's the person who came from Qatar to conduct the interviews.
He's just yellow.
Just yellow. Masurubu, as they always call it, having beard and all, beard gang and all that kind of stuff. He comes from Qatar. Everything was Qatar. I believed on that day. But this guy that we went, I came to realize, to know it when we were with him. Now we became friends at the airport going to Qatar. He told me, you know, the guy who did the interview there, coming from Qatar, Qatar. He never comes from. He has never gone out of the country. He's doing his business in Mombasa. His business. These things are business. You guys who are going to UAE, the way we said you being sold and you don't know. So God said that. Let me say thank God I'm sitting here today. Maybe I was being sold and I didn't know, because that guy, I left him in Kenya. He has never been in Qatar. Since I went to that Qatar, the whole time I have been there, never had anything from the agency. Nothing. Nothing. Until I can. Now, when you go there, until as Mapaseka always said, when you have your focus, when you know what you want, when you don't try to practice patience. When you go to a country that you don't even know what's happening, try to be that patient person. Because if you realize there's danger somewhere, try to be even more patient to know, how am I going to live here? When I left there, I left that I'm going back for holiday. My brothers and sisters, I never gave my back on that country again.
Let me read what Mapaseka said,
She has written.
She has written. And also, some of these families who hire the people, they pay off these agencies. So our own people, like our own agency, are failing us, basically, because they are consenting to slavery. They are saying, okay, fine, I want to buy these girls. You say yes. How much? Okay. Some people who work as domestic workers, remember, their passports have been taken.
That's it.
The employer has already paid for this slave / employer.
That's it.
They're living under someone's roof. They become paralyzed by the thought of voicing their thoughts in the most households, cause of fear of being deported.
Very true.
Guys, as tough as life can be back home at times, home is home. And our people should be strong enough to accept when it's time to go back instead of giving in to dangerous circumstances. Some girls run away from these households. Tell me how you will leave a country without your passport, or even live in a foreign country without a job.
You're not going nowhere.
It's that bad. So it is a whole constellation of issues and faults from every corner. Our governments are failing us because they are not putting proper policies for these agencies to follow.
I'm telling you.
Our agencies are also failing us because they are consenting to selling us as products rather than selling the services of their people. Because when we come as au pairs, it is our service that is being sold, not us. It is our service that is being sold. And these are the conditions. And you're told, first of all, the agency at home must know where is her room, how big is the room, does she have her own TV, does she have her own bed, when does she have free, when is her free time,
that one is actually written on that document.
Being paid? Is she medically even the medical cover must be shown before we enter that flight. So do our agency follow up to these things?
They don't.
And if they don't have to, if they cannot follow it up because the laws of the country forbid them or strain them from following that, then you stand firm for your people and say, if you are not going to do this and this and this and this and this, I am not giving the services of my people. I'm not selling them.
That's it. But now I don't know what happened to Africans, what happened to our African brothers and sisters. You feel like you are comfortable selling someone to somewhere, but you don't know whether he'll come alive or dead. And I don't know, do you come to attend burials? This is a question I'm going to ask some agencies out there. Do you attend these burials from these ladies you send it to UAE? Because I think it will be fair enough when you go to the burial and attend it. I saw one who was almost being slapped at the JKIA Nairobi airport when she came from Saudi Arabia Arabia, and she realized that the person from the agency was standing at the airport. I think that clip is going around social media. When I find it, I'll sometimes post it here. She almost killed her because she knows what she has undergone. She was lied to. The same case as I've said here. The person who conducted my interview when I was going to Qatar was
some people are told you're going to be a domestic worker in one household, but they forget to tell you that Arabs live communally. So there's a whole big compound where there is the Opa there. There is the son there, the second son there, the daughter is also there, and you have to do the households of all these people.
I'm imagining there are flaws.
Don't
you wake
forget
up
you're
7
an
early in the
African
morning.
woman. Probably you're extremely curvy, like Kenyan women. All the male bosses want something to do with you.
Tell me, how
and
are
if
you going
refuse,
to do it?
they go and tell the madams, you are doing this. You stole this. So it is really confusing because you don't know whether to accept so that you're not put at fault, or you refuse so that the madam boss will pour hot water on you.
I'm telling you.
It has happened. We have a lot of cases. Girls that are rescued from Saudi Arabia, many of them have given us stories.
Yes.
Which makes we should really put us into this kind of this conversation. Why must we keep on sending our people there? Especially our girls.
Ladies, think, I'm telling you, and let me tell you, when I was in Qatar, this is a very real example. You know, sometimes when you work, like here, we are coming out of work, the weekend is coming ahead, you feel like meeting friends, going out there, so that you relieve your mind. You have something else. This doesn't happen. In Qatar, I was there's no discourse and all those kind of stuff. So let me tell you, there's only one club, and I understood you have to have a membership to go to that country. Not like here in Stuttgart City, Germany, where I want to tell you about something that is happening very soon here. If I have to take you back to what is happening here in Stuttgart City. Remember, the Black and White Night is happening on the 5th of November here in Stuttgart City. Winnenden, and I'm telling you, this is the ultimate performance of German's best Afro artists performing live to you in Winnenden in Dream City. Remember, there's DJ Red Sun there, there's DJ Gaga, there's a lot of artists are lined up there, Kelly Fresh, and so many African artists all the way from the west, the east. I'm telling you, don't miss this out. And remember, LA Entertainment Company is always here to present to you the white and black party. So don't miss out this party out there from wherever you may be listening to us from, and tell us what do you think on the topic that we are talking here tonight. Remember to do that on our social media platforms to know what is happening out here. I'm telling you, your day one time where day will reach. I'm telling you, think about going to these African countries, and Diaspora Chronicles, as I've already told you here, what is going on here in Stuttgart City at this hour. And if you're joining us right now, remember to go to www.cradior.com. That's where you're going to listen to us live. And for those listening to us from Facebook, watching us live, thank you so much. Keep on sharing. And for those who will miss this show, actually, you're going to get it on our YouTube page at Radio RFM, home of African music. And to some news, actually, I'm going to tell you, for those, this October, there's so many things that are happening out there. Remember, Too Fun, they will be on the Afronews Hotel Mobile African Community in Germany Awards Gala Night. Remember, we have been nominated, we have been voted to be Europe's #1 African station here in Germany. And who else will be there to grace that event, to do interviews on the winners on that day? I'm telling you, Home of African Music will be there. Remember to buy your tickets out there, and there's so many people. My Ethic Cooking and Catering will be supplying food, and I'm telling you, don't miss out. I've seen this cooking, I'm telling you, it's gonna be late. And remember, the Ria Money Transfer, they are the one that have sponsors this, Tap Send, Afronews, and the main sponsors being the Hotel Mobile. Don't miss it out. If you want to see Too Fun, these are artists that all the way, they come, I think, from Togo. I'm very sure. Africa, Togolese, right? Yeah. Africa is setting standards out here. The way we love African music here in diaspora, the way the African music is taking over the world. Don't miss this chance. Book your seat, and I'm telling you here, reservations are made on first come, first serve. There are tables to be there, there are drinks. I'm not going to talk anymore, but I'm telling you, check out on what is happening in diaspora here before you decide to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, that's the topic that we have here tonight with the beautiful lady that you see on the left side here. I'm telling you, think fast and consider so many things before you go there, before you blame the government, before you blame the social media, and before you blame the embassy. Okay.
Yeah.
talk to people out here before we went up this evening. They throw us stones. We are telling them the truth. You know, sometimes when you tell the people the truth, they don't want to listen.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is that maybe we're now concluding, right?
Yes.
Because there's been a good conversation. I feel good about
it. Let me give a shout out to Akinyi Florence Lulu here. She has been there. Somalia can't be any different. You're right, my sister. Sons and daughters, do persons never go to Gulf. It's desperate cases do go to the... do go there, folks. And I'm telling you, we are all agreeing that it is not easy to go out there as much as we want to go to abroad. And my sisters and brothers, it's sometimes it's that I was in abroad. Even that time when I was in Qatar, I said I was in abroad, but when I came back home, okay, good, things still went on well. As we have said, why don't you go to Malawi? Why don't you go to Rwanda, as we is the cleanest city we have in Africa? Visit that kind of stuff. You may get a good work out there. So if you have a chance to go to somewhere else where you think the international laws are working, they will never work all. Even here in Germany, you can never sit here and say everything is at home. No. But there are some things that we pass through. I was cutting you off.
Yeah, no. Even what you're saying was just okay.
Okay, thank you.
Because you are winding up, so now it's my turn to wind up. Yeah, it's all okay. So, let's wind up by saying a few things that we can all agree on, irrespective of your opinion of the discussions today.
That's it.
Yes. Number one, Africa is a struggling continent. That means almost half of our population really live under $1 a day. Yeah, yes. That's something we can all agree on. Another thing is that Africa has also a high rate of unemployment because we are overpopulated and our governments are not really doing justice to us.
Yes.
You've got people who have gone to school and they don't have jobs.
Very many.
You have people who are not able to finish their school because they didn't have money to do so they end up not having any qualifications to do anything. Those are things that we can agree on. We can also agree that most people that go abroad in search of greener pastures, most of the population also come from Africa.
That's it.
Because of the obvious.
Yes.
It is true that if you are well-to-do, you wouldn't really have the hunger to go outside to search. It is the desperation that would push you to go outside, and especially to places like the Gulf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Places like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and UAE.
That's true.
So, having said that, it is also true for us to state that our governments have failed us.
Yes.
Because they have not been able to put the right policies that protect our people in the Gulf. So this is also a call to our governments in Africa, entire continent, to at least work on the laws, at least work on the policies that will favor our people when they are working in the Gulf.
Yes.
They have succeeded to do that in governments in Europe and America.
Yes.
They should also try and do that in the Gulf. It will be a bit difficult because the Gulf functions on a different sets of laws as compared to Europe and America. Yeah, that one we have accepted.
Yes.
Another thing is the people who are going to the Gulf should at least endeavor to have a background research, one on the agency.
Where they
how well established is the agency?
Sure.
How well do they cover their people? How do they ensure that the people they send abroad to the Gulf are safe?
Yes.
Now, for the women now who go as domestic workers, first of all, you know that you're going under the four roofs of someone else.
That's it.
Yeah? When you're going to a country like the ones in the Gulf, chances are your passport is going to be confiscated.
As they always
and that
do.
paralyzes you because now you cannot do anything.
You cannot move.
It means that if you have made that decision that the situation at home is very bad, that you really want to go to the Gulf, then you must be aware of what is going to face you there.
That's true.
You are going to be paralyzed. You're not going to be able to do so much. That means this anger that we have, this temper that we have as Africans, yours has to come down because you raise your temper a little up. Yeah, you get something that you will not like.
You land on wrong hands.
So unless you really guard yourself that life is not going to be rosy for you, and you're willing to go through that, you're going to face a lot of harassment. If you have male bosses, they're going to advance you. They will want to advance you sexually.
Sure.
And if you refuse, there is a chance that they might also, because they are their bosses, they might also turn against you.
True.
or she stole this, or she ate the sugar, or she beat the baby, or these are things that you must be aware of.
That's
so when
it.
you're making that decision that you're going to go there,
Yes.
the stories are plenty online. Things have gone viral. There are some of those people who are rescued from the Gulf that have documentaries, interviews, and stories. They have given it out, so nobody can say that you're not aware
You are
of what
aware.
goes on in the Gulf.
Unless
so
you don't
if
have
you make that
bundles.
decision, then you should be aware that this is prone to happen, and this is prone to happen. So the question is left for you: is it worth it?
Is it worth it to go out of your country, to go to where you know there are so many deaths that have happened and so many things that are happening out there? The government has not found a solution to cover up everything that is happening out there. Why do you want to go there? Why don't you try your luck somewhere else, or concentrate, think, and know what you want in future? And I'm telling you, getting this from Diaspora Chronicles live from Stuttgart City, Germany. I'm talking about your home of African music, Radio RFM to the world. Anywhere you may be listening to us from, remember, every Wednesday we are here to tell you what is happening in diaspora. We might be speaking about this topic today, we might be repeating it next time, but remember to think and think and think about yourself before you blame each institution that you think you want to blame about. There are so many true stories out there. Most of you want to go and experience them yourself, then you land out somewhere else, but think about it. For those who are listening to us and for those who have been with us, thank you so much for always joining us. Thank you so much for always sharing. Remember, you can listen to us 24 hours non-stop. www.c.r, that's where everything is happening. So many stories that we are speaking to you right now here, that's where you can even read them down there so that you know what is happening around the globe. Thank you so much for joining us on Diaspora Chronicles, and thank you so much, Akinyi, actually.
Yeah.
As we said, it's so happy to see you here. Now the hashtags are going to be: are you going to UAE next time?
Hashtag, is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Let's change these hashtags instead of celebrating deaths and celebrate something else.
Yeah.
It has been your boy Kanida Richards here, and I'm telling you, the beautiful lady here, Akinyi. See you next Wednesday, same time this evening from your home of African music. Thank you so much and stay safe.
The listeners agree. The message is clear.
Here we go.
The best radio station to listen to this year.
It's the best.
It's the best music. Best tunes. Because they got the best music.
Live from Stuttgart City, Germany.
99.2 Radio RFM.
Your home of African music.
We play only your choice.
99.22 FM.
Shut up and bend over. Let your back do the talking over. So back up and bend over.
It's your favorite boy,
Home of African music. Your day gonna sound better when you choose to listen in 99.2.
Now you're serious. You're not just kidding me.
Radio Ara.
So good.
Live from Stuttgart City, Germany.
Mambo vipi, naitwa Mimi Mars aka the Sugar Queen kutoka East Africa, Tanzania, kupitia 99.2 FM Radio R. Enjoy.
Naitwa Stopper the Rhyme Maker, the bad rapper, the RCD Dan Dada.
Watu wangu kupitia 99.2 Radio R live from Germany.
Yeah, this is Linux Sandem Jada.
Naitwa Matan, msanii wa nyimbo za kizazi kipya nchini Tanzania.
Hello, mambo vipi, what's up? Naitwa Lina Sanga all the way from 255 Tanzania.
Yeah, ni Zedanto hapa ndani ya Radio R.
Yo, tunaitwa wa Africa Music.
Yo, bwana, inakuwaje watu wangu? Lisho Boy is a business live and direct kutoka Mbeya City. Unasikiliza Radio R au sio 99.2 au vipi bwana?
99.2 FM.
99.2 FM.
Live from Stuttgart City, Germany.